Step Brothers is a 2008 comedy directed by Adam McKay and stars Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly. They play two middle-aged losers who are forced against their will to become roommates once their parents marry each other. Step Brothers was a movie that was really beloved in my friend group. I remember my friends quoting it quite a bit, the Catalina wine mixer and so on and so forth like that, but I just never understood the love and adoration that this movie really got. It just wasn't funny to me, maybe because I didn't see it exactly when it came out, so kind of a lot of the jokes and gags were kind of lost on me because my friends were already repeating them, so I kind of already knew it, so that could very well be it, mind you. But the same thing goes with like movies like Zoolander, these comedies that I didn't watch right when people did, and so I just the jokes kind of went over my head, and I was kind of bored of them by the time I actually did watch it. Now, I haven't really revisited Zoolander all too well, but I liked Will Ferrell in that movie, but for whatever reason, Step Brothers, I just didn't care for him here. I think at this point in time, he was kind of playing the same characters over and over again. So anyway, why am I watching this movie again and wanting to go back and revisit it? Because I feel like all movies deserve a second chance, and even though I didn't really care for it or like it before, I think there's something funny here that I actually appreciate now. Maybe it's because I'm a little closer to these characters' age, and I kind of have that childlike wonder at like they had. But I found it funnier than I did before, and I was really laughing a lot of it. And I remembered those moments where my friends were quoting these lines, and I don't know, something clicked in me, and I got it. Step Brothers is a pretty funny movie. Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly really play these 40-year-old something men who still live at home way too good. They are pretty flawless as these adult man-childs. And I love the two competing personalities and kind of them fighting for their parents' attention and also kind of one-upping themselves as well. Seeing their budding friendship as the movie does go along and see the rise and fall of their friendship and brotherhood. It was funny. Adam Scott appears in this movie as Will Ferrell's brother, and Adam Scott is like the total douchebag movie in this movie. It's fantastic. A really punchable face, as it were. This cast is also really funny, and everybody has some really funny moments here. Specifically Katherine Hahn, who has this big crush on John C. Reilly's character, where it becomes borderline harassment in the movie. But I really it plays for really good laughs here, especially so many years later. We also see Richard Jenkins and Mary Steenburgen show up as the parents of these two man-child. Richard Jenkins plays John C. Reilly's father here, and Mary Steenburgen plays the mother of Will Ferrell and Adam Scott's characters here. As these movies does progress, these two man-childs do strain the relationship of their parents, so they do kind of separate here, and they have to go out and find real jobs. I think that's the funniest parts of the movies, where these interviews do get set up for I'm calling them by their actors' names. It's Brennan and Dale. Brennan is played by Will Ferrell, and Dale is by John C. Reilly. That's one of my favorite moments when they're going in for the job interviews. I think it's really played really well, and it's kind of ridiculous. They're in tuxedos, and it's a really fun time to watch there. And Seth Rogen makes an appearance in those moments here. Of course, we have to talk about the drum set sequence where Brennan literally puts some fake balls on a drum set. It's pretty funny. Why are you all sweaty? I'm watching Cops. Yeah, it's great. Now I kind of like Step Brothers. It's not a perfect movie by any means, but it did provide some laughs, and that which I appreciated. I had a rough, kind of long week at work, so I wanted to have something on the background. I wasn't really kind of paying attention to it too much. I was like, well, I'm going to watch this movie. I know it's kind of celebrating its like 15-year anniversary. I don't really care for that anyway. Let's put something on. And I slowly got glued to the screen to it, and I'm not a huge Adam McKay fan. I've never seen Vice, but I've heard like really mixed things, especially on our podcast. A lot, it's really mixed there. Don't Look Up, which I probably was the highest on that movie than anybody else on the podcast was, but it wasn't good. I was more laughing at it than with it. The Other Guys is another Will Ferrell, Mark Wahlberg movie. I really like that one. That's a really fun, entertaining movie. The Big Short was also one that I really kind of enjoyed more than others. And that's really all the ones that I had seen of Adam McKay's works. He's not one of the directors that I cared for too much, but his comedy, like the other guys, it did really hit me, and I really liked that one quite a bit. That's probably my favorite one that he's done. Step Brothers at the time just wasn't funny to me. This time around, I won't admit it's a good movie. It's a fun movie that has some really comedic gold moments there. It's not one of the greatest comedies of all times, but it did provide some really good laughter in a time that I really kind of needed it. I needed to laugh this week, and I had to kind of wrap up the week on a high note, and Step Brothers kind of gave me what I needed. I really appreciated that for it. And while I'm praising the movie for being really funny, not all the jokes do hit here, and some of the characters are really over the top. Rob Riggle shows up here. Of course, he has to be friends with Adam Scott's character here, and a lot of those characters are douchebags, and they play the same kind of characters in everything they do. I really like the moments where you see Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly kind of having those back and forth banters. I think their chemistry just works really well, and you can tell that they're kind of probably friends outside of the movie space as well. I think the parents are played really well by Mary Steenburgen and Richard Jenkins. Katherine Hahn also has really funny moments here as well, and some of the scenes are really funny. Not all the jokes work, but overall, it's a super entertaining film, even if it's not written the best and has the best lines. It did provide some laughs for me, and it's not like a great movie by any means, but it's one that I appreciated this revisit for some reason, and it was just like entertaining for me. Anyway, that's my quick takes on this movie. What is your favorite laugh or joke that this movie provided you? And also check out our podcast, Almost Sideways Movie Podcast, streaming everywhere where you find your podcast. And also like, share, and subscribe here on YouTube because it's free, and we would appreciate it. So until next time, guys, I'll see you later.